gauges here. I went with glow shift because they were about 50% the price of what Autometer is. The same gauges that I got here would have cost me over 800 bucks from Autometer with the stepper motors. These all have the stepper motors to my knowledge, and you can change them to at least 7 colors. The Elite, I think that's this one, you can change to 10 different colors. So I got oil pressure, water temp, and voltage, and then of course a wide band, just because I want that. I think I'll need that in the future, so went ahead and got it. Good look. I like it a lot. Okay, back again for just a second to show you the finished product. Basically, I cut the hose as discussed, used the black hose clamp, got them underneath, everything's underneath. This will be the bottom side. You can see how it's just all kind of buttoned up together. Yeah, it's gonna be a real clean look, I think. There's the hose and all of its glory. At the bottom here, you've got the ground wires. Put a ring terminal at the end of these, whenever I decide the length of them between here and here, ground them out. And then of course the green wire does go through the firewall. So that's where I'm at right now. I'm pretty happy with the results. Probably time to move on to the next gauge, I think. Okay guys, next I got this little sandwich plate from Glow Shift, so this should work perfectly with the sensor. And basically what this does is it sets up against the block with this rubber seal. This piece basically screws onto this piece that's already on the block, screw that on, and it seals this up against the block. And you've got these 4 ports that you can tap into for the sensor. See, because your oil filter will go right on top, just like so. So I'm gonna get this ready now. Probably gonna add a little bit of thread sealant to the sensor. It comes with some, but I want a little bit more on there. I don't know, to make me feel better. Okay, so here it is, sensor installed with the extra thread sealant, and you'll see all the other ports. Put a little bit of extra thread sealant on there. Actually, a lot of bit extra so that it doesn't leak. Not that it would anyway, but I don't know that, so peace of mind. I just put some on there. So this is kind of ready to go. I'm gonna go ahead and plug this harness in, get it ready to run through the firewall. We'll plug the harness in for the gauge itself. Okay, as you can see, a little further along in the wiring process here. I did put some 3/4 inch heat shrink on here. It's a little too big. I'm thinking 1/2 inch would have been better, but I don't have any. So I'm making do with what I got. I did order some, so maybe my future wiring projects I'll be more prepared. But basically I just got 2 leads off of each. At the bottom here, there's gonna be some shorter wires where I'm gonna basically make all my connections in the center of the console. And then this extended section is gonna go over to the air-fuel ratio gauge, which will be on my left-hand side where the vent used to be. That'll be those connections, at least the power, ground, switch, and illumination. I didn't have any orange wires, so I just used white, and then I put a little red heat shrink collar on there to let myself know that's for illumination, even though as if I wouldn't know. That's where I'm at with that. All right, if you can hear me over this train, today's the day. We're doing an oil change. We're doing some gauge installation. I got my lovely assistant here, Vanessa. She's gonna help me out. And we're gonna be doing some damn things. All right, Vanessa's doing the honors. She's gonna fill us up with oil here. She says that she's a professional, so no pressure.
I'm a YouTube mechanic, been to many schools, didn't graduate a single one.
Look at how well this is working. This is an awesome funnel, you guys. Okay, let's chill for a sec. Let's see what level that's at.
One more.
Let's put a little bit more in there, and then we'll let it sit and we'll check the level when we get her on the ground. A little more. All right, that's good. And then we'll check the level again when it's on the ground, but we're just gonna let that sit and think about it. And we're gonna run that wire into the cap. Okay guys, what I'm doing is kind of an old installer's trick. I'm using a large zip tie, tying it to the end of the wire that I gotta run. Add some stiffness to the wire so I can route it through a very small opening, kind of a small opening anyway, to get through the firewall. So that's just what I'm doing here. I'll tape it all up, make sure it doesn't get damaged. And what I'm gonna do is route this underneath the intake manifold and in between that little lip that's under the intake manifold, right along where I did the main charge wire the other day. Hopefully I can get through here. Okay. And then I kind of want to go through here. So yeah, so we're just going to kind of thread the needle. I was scared we wouldn't have enough wire, but I think we're gonna have plenty. All right, now most people go through this AC line here, this AC opening, and that's exactly what I'm going to do. That's what I did last time and the time before that and the previous. Little holes in it. As you can see, our zip tie has made it through the firewall. So I'm gonna route that through. We're gonna tear apart this center console, get it ready to be in position for the new gate.
That Ultima, I was so pissed that he got the Ultima. Well, he didn't even buy it for me. He just found me the car and was like, this is the car you're gonna get. And I was like, if I'm making payments on a car, you think it should be the one that I want?
I've never done this before. All right, wish me luck, guys. I'm trying to remove this, and I've never done it before, but I basically broke it last time. And yeah, as you can see, it's still broken. It didn't fix itself. It's true.
I thought there was Honda fairies that came and fixed those things for you.
You know, I wish that was a thing, but unfortunately, for me, if you care about your car. If you don't, well then just go ham. Go crazy.
Do what you want.
Do what you want. Pretend it was your baby mama that stole something from you. Anyway, there you go. And we're just gonna unplug this little clocking poo. And I'm gonna do something special with this clock later on in a different video, but right now, no. Oh, I didn't break it. Look, I thought I broke it. It didn't break. It just popped out of its little hooper. Look at that. Now it works. Hey. But I'm not gonna use it anyway, guys. But either way, I'm gonna reuse the clock, but I have to rebuild it. So that's a later video. Now we have all the room for activities. Look at that. Awesome. I never thought about it, but I can probably tap into power right here. How come I'm so stupid, guys? I don't get it. All right, so there's that. Got a little fuzzy here. I'm gonna get out of there. Okay. I was gonna bring black hose clamps. I didn't bring those. It's gotta match, you know. It's gotta be matchy-matchy. It's gotta fucking be, you know. Of course, I didn't do that. I don't know if this hose is gonna work, but we'll see. This is gonna go everywhere, so I should probably get a pan underneath here somehow. I was gonna use that pan, but I don't know where to put the oil that's in there.
Shut up! Shut the fuck up! God damn it!
And action. So Vanessa is now wiring through the green water temperature sensor wire, kind of along the same route that we did the other one, along the stereo cables there and into the firewall through the old AC port. Feed it through. We're going to pull it through the other side. We've got that underneath here, so you can't see it really, but it's underneath the coolant line, which is giving it that nice stealthy look. Oh, go ahead, yank it a little harder. That's what he said. Harder.
Ain't nobody got time for that. Ain't nobody got time for that.
There you go. Sometimes they like it rough. Okay, hold on. Okay, pull a little more. That's good. Right there. That's good enough. And then that will give us room for our grounds that are going to go right here to the... I decided they're going to go here. I thought I was going to put them there, but I think I like this better, so we'll do that. All right, it's the next day. This is kind of the mess we left off with. It looks daunting. It's not as bad as it looks, but it's still not going to be like a whole lot of fun, but yeah. Yeah, I like the way this snapped into place. It looks really nice. A couple of things I want to mention. This wideband air fuel ratio gauge from GlowShift is not a cheap piece of kit. It's $200. Comes with the sensor and the little computer module and all the stuff that you need. One thing I'm not impressed with so far is, I don't know if you can hear that, but that's these little control module things. I guess one's for peak and one's for the display, like what color you want. That doesn't sound very quality to me. And I'm hoping I don't hear that driving down the road. If I do, I'm gonna have an issue with that. The other thing, so far I really like the Nathan Tech 3D printed pieces. As you can see, I got this vent here as well. Now, one thing that's, I don't know, not to my initial liking is you put it in here, and in my car, he put a screw hole here for a screw at the bottom. In my car, I don't see where I can use that. It's just not gonna work. It has nothing to screw into, but it does fit nicely if you just kind of click it into place. I mean, it's nice, but I don't like the angle. The angle is up a little too high. It looks like it's gonna be a problem for me being able to see it in direct sunlight. I don't know. It's got the tinted lens. Maybe that'll be just fine. I just wish the angle was a little more straightforward, like these guys here. A little bit of feedback for Nick at Nathan Tech. But yeah, the screw is like literally, it would just go into air. There's like nothing there. So, but at least this part, it all, you know, it lines up nicely. It looks pretty good, and I can live with that. I may modify this later myself just to get this to sit a little more flush, a little more straight up and down with the angle. But yeah, I'm gonna start cleaning up this wire and dial in the rest. I'm doing some things with the clock, so that's why it's not in there right now. We're gonna tear it apart and do some things. Well, I got them all wired up, got the wiring cleaned up somewhat. These are working flawlessly. I really like them a lot. I think they're cool. Not much else to say other than that's real cool. I like it. It'll work for me. This one's gonna flash because it's reading 10 on the air fuel ratio. If you get really rich or really lean, this will flash at you, and this is gonna keep doing that until I actually get the sensor plugged in and the O2 sensor plugged into the header. Obviously, I couldn't get that bolt off the header. It was rusted on there real good, so I may have to just have another one welded on or something. Maybe get a new header, I don't know. But I mean, we're as far as we can go on that one. The Nathan Tech cup holder is very close to this gauge. Now, these Elite gauges stick out a little bit further than the regular ones, and I'm not sure I like that, but I don't have much of a choice. That's the only way they offer it. But this sits a little too close, so even if I did use this cup holder, it's gonna make contact with the gauge, and I don't like that. So I may contact Nick and see if he can fab me up one that comes out a little further. The other thing about the Nathan Tech cup holder is it comes with this little plate that's supposed to cover up your coin tray. Now, either I don't know what I'm doing, or this just doesn't cover near enough space in here. It's actually quite a bit bigger than what this is. And this is supposed to cover up that gap right there. Not the biggest thing in the world, that's you know, biggest problem in the world, but it's still a problem, and you know, kind of, I'm not really loving it. I may not even use this because it makes contact with the gauge. This is just a nicety I thought would be kind of cool to, you know, have a cup holder. There's other options I can use, the one that's designed for the ashtray too, so there's that. But yeah, overall a very cool look. It's what I was going for, and I'll put everything back together and show you how it looks then, and then with the lights on we'll show the dimmer and whatnot. Center console here, as discussed in the previous video, I have reflocked it right in this area. I applied glue to all the shiny areas that didn't get quite covered the way I'd like. I also added 2 ACR ones. These are audio controlled remote ones for control of my epicenter and my matrix that I'm going to be putting in, and it's high time we did that because I've had it for, over a year now, so we're kind of finishing up the audio system and redoing a lot of stuff that wasn't done properly, so stay tuned for more of that. But yeah, we're going to do that and the stereo today, and then maybe work on more stereo equipment throughout the weekend. I do have to do a lower ball joint on the car again because one of them basically failed immediately after install. Okay guys, back for just a second. My battery died, but I wanted to show just how nice this turned out. Got my little ACR ones here, so I can adjust my bass level and my bass reproduction from the epicenter. But just kind of zoom in here, my little repair job, perfect. It looks really good. Even if you don't get the flocking right the first time, you can kind of go over it again if you're real careful and just kind of dab the glue into the spots that you need it and reflock it. Just kind of pump the fibers back over it, and it looks seamless. It looks really good. So that's what I did. This is a good looking stereo. It's a good unit, and from what I can tell, I feel like I have more control over the bass rather than having bass, mid, and treble like the Alpine had. It has individual frequencies that you can go through and dial them in, which is a little tedious, but it gives you a little bit more control, and the subwoofer control is phenomenal. There's like 50 different levels to the adjustment of your sub, so I think it's like you can really fine tune it, and I like that. So far, I'm pretty impressed with this thing. I haven't tested the HD radio or anything else. The illumination looks pretty good, and I don't even think I'm going to use the dimmer function. Maybe never, but if I did, I just long press that button. Not a big deal. I'll keep you posted, but I think this is going to be a good unit for this, and it's matchy with my amp too, because it's a Kenwood, so good deal there. I'm happy. I'm going to put this the rest of the way together. See you in the next video. Okay, YouTube, we're going to start this project. We're going to do what I'm going to attempt to do real quick is remove this header so I can finally install the wideband O2 sensor. Basically behind, it's like way down there. I may have covered this in another video, but yeah, I couldn't ever get that off, so I'm going to attempt to heat it up with a torch so I can get it off. It's pretty rusted on there. And I got to remove these two because yes, I'm still OBD 0, and so I have 2 O2 sensors. I got to remove those. This does not have it's not a 2-piece header where it doesn't unbolt and have the 3 bolts right here, which is great because I don't want to have to worry about that gasket. I just have to unbolt it from here and basically where it meets the exhaust underneath the car. You'll see I have removed the cross member. That was the easiest thing for me to do other than removing the radiator to get enough room to scoop this thing forward and drop it down and get it out of here. I'm hoping that's gonna make it easy. We'll see. The cross member and everything else underneath was quite dirty because of how long this thing had a serious oil leak. But as you can see, just kind of scraped it off here. And we're gonna soak it down with brake cleaner and just make it less nasty. We're gonna make everything less nasty with brake cleaner. So there we go. As I was saying, one of the things I'm greatly appreciative of and just delighted is the fact that none of these were seized. So I got all those loose. And then I got the 2 bolts, they're 14 millimeters that connect the exhaust down below here. Right there. I got those loosened up. So next step, I'll be able to hopefully drop this header out the bottom. And in the meantime, I've been spraying some brake cleaner on the cross member to clean it up, and then I'm going to clean this off in small sections so I don't make a huge mess in my garage. But behind this header, I don't know how well you can see on the video, it's just caked with oil, and always has been, because it had I think it had a leaky seal on the distributor, as well as the main culprit was this cam seal, just leaking, gushing everywhere. And the VTEC solenoid seals were basically, it needed one of everything. And I also did a valve cover gasket set a while back, but things that should have been done a long time ago, and I finally got to them, and it's getting cleaner, but I haven't had a chance to clean behind here because it's kind of hard to do that with a header in place. So I'm going to do that this time. And also we are doing new oil pan and oil pan gasket and new oil pan hardware, if I didn't mention before. Back again for just a second. So my strategy to get all the gunk off the front of this thing, I should have filmed it before. It was like I swear, like a 1/4 inch thick in some places, just caked on the front. This is just me brushing it off of the block, the thick gunk off of it, and into this tote here. I gotta clean up my mess now because there's a lot of globules of really nastiness on this box here that I gotta use to save my floor. But I'm gonna sweep that up, and then I'm gonna go at it again with brush and brake clean. So that's just the process I've been doing, and so far so good. I'm happy with the results. Okay, if I didn't mention before, this is as clean as I got it. It's not completely spotless, it's not perfect, but it's pretty damn good. It's way cleaner than it was, and I'm pretty happy with the result. So next step, we got the oil draining. Painted the cross member. I'll show you that real quick. So just a quick rattle can job. It looks million% better. And now we're going to work on the header. Well, I'm happy to report success. We got the plug out for the third O2 sensor. You got 1, 2, and 3. We got it out. Heated up with a torch, used my impact, got it out. Now you got this, wow, I'm all off kilter here with the camera. Now you got this rusty finish that gets the rest of the header here. I got this little wire brush on my drill, and I'm just kind of cleaning it up and trying to bring it back to life. Okay, YouTube fam, it's your boy Spiky for an update. Just want to let you know what I see down here. I dropped the old oil pan, and then the what would be called a flex disc cover, but in this case a flywheel cover, because it's not an automatic, it's manual, obviously. And to my delight and surprise, there's an aftermarket light white flywheel here. I was gonna get one of those, but it already has it, so yay. That's cool. I like it. No wonder it revs so quick. I was kind of wondering about that. I don't know what kind of clutch it is. I don't know. This blue color kind of reminds me of, maybe it could be an Exidi or a Fidanza. I'm not really sure. Somebody loved this car before me, but then there were other fools that owned this car that weren't so smart. For instance, all the hardware, all the 12 millimeter bolts, well, they weren't 12 millimeter, whatever 12 millimeter size is. They were all in just barely over hand tight. Not torque to spec at all, in my opinion. And they were all, good news is everything looks good down here. I bet if I would have just tightened up what was there, I probably would have eliminated 90% of my leak. But we're here, we're replacing the old oil pan because it was banged up a bit, and new gasket, new oil pan, new hardware, and just make sure that we torque it to spec so we don't have any more oil leaks. This will be so refreshing, literally, to get this done. I'm gonna put some Honda Bond in the appropriate spots here, and what, here, like the four corners, right? So over there you got the oil pump that meets the engine block. Then over here is just like the, I guess the rear seal or whatever you would call it. But those are the four areas they recommend to put Honda Bond, so I'll put that, and we'll put the gasket in place, and we'll go from there. Boy, I just want you guys to see what I see. Look at this. It's a thing of beauty. I can see my engine block. There's no like 1/4 inch thick of freaking grease and grime and BS. All these were hand tight. Now I'm gonna torque them to spec with all brand new hardware, brand new gasket, brand new oil pan. This is a good feeling. It just, you know what? I'm really, really happy with this. It's so satisfying and been such a long time coming. For a lot of reasons, but now I actually have a space where I can work on my stuff, and it's good. It's really good, and I can give this car the love it deserves because I love this car. Anyway, yeah. So before I torque them down, this is what it looks like. Okay, finally, after what, 6 months of waiting, we actually got this task done, I think. That's the moment of truth. I gotta see what this thing does. I haven't put the car all back together yet, but I really can't wait. So, we're gonna do it. Here we go. Got to warm up. I don't know. Anyway, I like my gauges red because it matches the car. Ooh, it's working. Color red. What is it, 14.7 is Stoich? It's getting there. I would expect it to run a little rich when you first start it up, so I mean, I don't know, I'm not that educated, but I think that's what it does. I think that's normal, that'd be a little rich. There it is. Right at about 14.7. So cool that it actually works now. My OCD's freaking out a little bit because it's a bit brighter than my other gauges. Those are the normal gauges. That's the elite gauge or whatever. But that's okay. See if the dimmer works. Yep. Okay, I'm going to attempt to show you a little something here. Let's see if it works. So, got our setting on red there. There's kind of like a yellow green. Kind of cool. Like a purple. I like it. I think it's cool. But yeah, you just go turn it to different colors here. On this app, you can kind of do this here. I think it's neat. It definitely achieves the effect I was looking for. This kind of yellow fog light kind of look, and that's what I wanted. Kind of mimic the DA9 Integra. So yeah, there you have it.